you have plenty of time to come up with a finish that's not the same bullshit that we saw with Cody and Drew McIntyre and Jey Uso. Every Roman defense is the same thing. It's the same story. He cannot win on his own, and it always takes a solo interference or something like that to get it done. And I think that's happened now one too many times. And Jay getting screwed at SummerSlam, the fans were like, okay, enough's enough of this shit. So I don't want to see that same finish. I think that would be lazy. And considering how much time and creative thought goes into this storyline with Roman and Heyman, Fightful had a whole write-up on this the other day, that they should be able to concoct something a little bit more creative than Solo comes in when the referee's not looking and hits a Samoan spike on LA Knight. And if LA Knight wants to be compared to a Stone Cold Steve Austin, then Roman Reigns needs to be his Bret Hart. Because when Austin was on the rise, he lost to Bret at Survivor Series. He lost to Bret at WrestleMania. He was losing to Bret, but when he was losing to Bret, he was gaining the respect of the audience and really starting to bubble up even more. It really raised his stock. Now, the business moves a bit faster than it does in 96 and 97. Pedal to the metal. It's pedal to the metal now. So I don't think that you can really wait another 2 years to belt up LA Knight if you choose to. But there are ways to make this match with Roman Reigns work, have him get screwed, or have some sort of because everybody gets screwed. Cody got screwed. They all get screwed, but screwed worse, you know? Like have the match won, psych out the fans, have a near fall or a false finish or something like that that really makes the fans for a split second think we have a new champion, and then screw him in some way to where he leaves that match the way Austin left WrestleMania 13. Crown Jewel should be LA Knight's WrestleMania 13, where he's got Roman beat, but for whatever reason, he does not walk away with the belt. And what do you think the best option would be there when you're thinking about that type of scenario? Because WrestleMania 13, Austin lost. So what do you think would be better for LA Knight? Would it be better for him to fight his balls off and fight till the bitter end to where he can't fight anymore, to where he loses, but he kind of gives you that Benoit Royal Rumble 03 performance against Angle, or gives you some sort of a performance where the fans applaud when he's leaving the ring? Austin, same thing after WrestleMania 13, kind of hobbled. The camera followed him all the way to the back. That was very profound. That was very powerful to me. The way he just hobbled away, just covered in his own blood, stunning referees, anybody gets in his way, let me walk to the back on my own, you know, and that just little moment right there made him. So would that be better for LA Knight to lose a hard fought battle to where you pass out to the pain or you pass out from the blood? They're probably not going to use blood, so you're going to have to find the equivalent of that to tell that story. Or would it be better for him just to get a disqualification or a count out victory over Roman Reigns, where he beats him and you can set up, you know, a title shot for him down the road when everything else sorts itself out? Like between those two, fight your ass off, you know, and lose in the middle, but gain even more respect from the audience, or beat Roman via DQ and all the fans can be pissed that you didn't get the belt, but you got your hand raised. What's better? I'm curious. I don't really know. I kind of think it might be fighting his ass off. I think he needs that because LA Knight has not gotten really great match star ratings or anything like that. You know, nobody's really looking at him as, you know, a 5-star match worker, but neither was Austin. And quite frankly, neither was Rock. So there are ways to make that work. But I do think LA Knight, for the good of his character, and at least for the legitimacy for the fans, who, even though he's super popular and super over right now, they can turn on you in a second. So if he has a good match, you know, and he can go out there and deliver a good match where the match itself is actually good and the story they tell is good, that's going to be a career-making moment for him. So I'm hoping, best case scenario, in a perfect world in my head, LA Knight does not win the championship, but he comes out of Crown Jewel a bigger star than he went in. That's hard to accomplish. That's really hard to accomplish. It took a double turn to get that done at WrestleMania 13. So that's really kind of hard to do when you're in there with somebody like Roman, especially with the way finishes can be booked. And a lot of fans can, you know, be overcritical, you know, about how they're set up and all of that and maybe miss the big picture. It's tough to put that puzzle together. So I'm hoping that they do. And maybe a good consolation prize for LA Knight, you got to think about something for him to do until next year. And we get on the other side of WrestleMania 40. And hopefully by then, Cody's our champion. And then you can start lining up the challengers. He's got to do something between now and then. As we're going to talk about later, Rey Mysterio and Logan Paul set up their big match at Crown Jewel as well. I think it's pretty likely that Logan Paul is going to win the United States title. So maybe LA Knight and Logan Paul can be your next match. If LA Knight is not going to win the Royal Rumble, or if they don't have plans for him to win the Royal Rumble, then I wouldn't put him in the Royal Rumble. I'd put him against Logan Paul for the U.S. title on the undercard. And then maybe they can both enter the Rumble later, but they get ousted early, or you just do something to get them out early and make them non-factors. But that could be a good spot. Maybe Survivor Series, Logan Paul versus LA Knight. But I think if Logan Paul is going to win the U.S. title, they might want him to hold it for a while. Only problem with that is they already have a part-time world champion on that show. So that means Logan Paul and Roman Reigns are going to hold 2 SmackDown belts hostage. I don't think that's a good idea either. So if Logan Paul is going to win the title, he needs to be on TV as much as possible until he drops the belt, which means his run could be short, super short, like Survivor Series short. But I think LA Knight will probably be in that War Games match. So if they don't do it at Survivor Series, maybe they can stretch it to Royal Rumble and you do a nice little Logan Paul, LA Knight program, promo battle throughout the holidays on SmackDown, shit like that. But I think maybe LA Knight winning the U.S. title from Logan Paul at a big pay-per-view, Royal Rumble, or you could stretch it all the way to WrestleMania. If you want to do Logan and LA Knight, you could do that at WrestleMania. I've got this thing booked in a month for Survivor Series, but it could be way down the line at WrestleMania, or it could be at the Rumble. It could be anywhere. So that could be something for LA Knight to do after this match with Roman, since Roman then is probably going to go on to probably not defend the title for the rest of the year, unless they book him in a match at Survivor Series, unless he's in that War Games match, which I don't think he would be. He might be, but I don't think he would be. Maybe he is. Actually, he should be. He should be in there with Cody and LA Knight and stuff. That would be great. Little tease for the future. But we don't know. But if that's the case, if he's in the War Games match, that means he's not going to be defending the belt again, probably until the Royal Rumble. And then if he survives that, maybe he's got one more defense, but likely it's going to be WrestleMania, and that will be the end for him. So we will see LA Knight, Roman Reigns, Cody. It's going to be a fun few months.